later, Gabe apparently went quiet. He asked the guy what people called me in school. The guy said they called her the queen bee, but not like the mean girl kind, the kind that actually held the hive together. Gabe did not say anything after that. Our mutual friend told me Gabe brought it up later that week. Cooper called me 3 days later saying Gabe had reached out to him after what Nick said at that work event, that Gabe kept coming back to the queen bee thing and it seemed to be eating at him, and I realized I was curious, not in the raw way I would have been 6 months ago, but because I wanted to know what he was thinking now that someone showed him a version of me he never bothered to see. Cooper told me Gabe spent an hour talking in circles about our marriage, kept returning to the moment Nick described how I held the high school group together for 20 years, sounded genuinely shaken like he was realizing he misunderstood something fundamental about who I was, kept using the word controlling, then stopping himself, then trying to explain why it felt wrong now. Part of me wanted Gabe to feel the full weight of his mistake, but another part recognized his belated realization changed nothing because I had moved on and rebuilt, and his understanding came too late to matter. Friday came and my dinner group showed up at my apartment the way they did every week, with Morgan bringing wine and Zara making her famous pasta salad, and Morgan noticed I was quieter than usual and pulled me into the kitchen where I told her about Gabe's reaction. She got this fierce look reminding me why we had been friends since sophomore year, saying she was glad he finally understood, but angry it took a stranger's perspective for him to see what was right in front of him for 6 years, that I spent our entire marriage trying to make him understand my organizational skills came from caring about people, not controlling them, and he only got it now when understanding could not undo the damage. I threw myself into work planning a major corporate event for a tech company's 10th anniversary, requiring multiple venues and 300 guests, working late every night building detailed spreadsheets and confirming vendors, and Zara gently suggested over lunch that maybe I was using work to avoid processing my feelings, and I admitted she might be right, but creating something successful felt better than dwelling on my ex-husband's regrets. The event went perfectly, and my boss pulled me aside to say she was recommending me for senior event director with a significant raise and my own team, and I felt genuinely proud in a way I could not during my marriage when Gabe made every success feel like evidence of my controlling nature. Morgan organized a celebration dinner at the nice Italian place, and I arrived to find 8 people with champagne already open, and the energy felt different from my marriage because nobody rolled their eyes or joked about me being bossy. They were genuinely celebrating my talents being recognized. Nick showed up and I thanked him for what he told Gabe, and he shifted uncomfortably, explaining he hadn't known Gabe was my ex when he praised me, and I said I was glad because Gabe needed an objective assessment from someone with no stake in our divorce. 2 weeks later, Cooper called saying Gabe asked how to get invited to group events, and Cooper had to explain the invitations came through me and always had, that I maintained the shared calendar and sent reminders and made sure everyone felt included, and Gabe seemed genuinely surprised the social infrastructure he took for granted required actual work. I laughed because of course he never noticed the invisible work I did to keep our friend group connected, just like he never noticed the invisible work keeping our life running. I started organizing our high school 20-year reunion, coordinating with over 200 former classmates, and people kept thanking me for tracking them down, with one woman emailing that she almost skipped because she felt like she didn't belong, but remembered I always made everyone feel included, so she decided to come. Morgan asked if I planned to invite Gabe, and I genuinely did not care either way, telling her to add him because his presence would not affect my ability to enjoy the night, and she looked surprised by my indifference.